Good morning. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I just want to release this word that I received this morning in a dream. I feel it was a very prophetic dream. I feel that the Lord was speaking. This dream felt so real, and it has to do with a lot of what's going on in today's times. In this dream, I was awoken this morning about with just a sense of prayer and just needing to enter into prayer. Um, and let me talk to you a little about what occurred in the dream. Um, this is what I saw in the dream. I was in a house, and this house had a lot of windows, so I could see the outside. I could see the the beauty, the nature of God, and then all of a sudden I just start to see a wind. I just start to see a gust of wind just start to pick up. I see the trees start to blow, and as I was looking out the windows, I could just see the trees blowing more and more. And then I started seeing the leaves start to just go violently. And so I get up where I was sitting, and I open the door, and I'm looking outside. And I could just hear these rushes of wind just blowing. and as the wind was just blowing, I just started to there was a sense of fear that just started to enter into me as I was seeing. It was sort of a fear, but also amazement that was going on, the feelings that I was having, because I had never seen anything. I had never seen these winds so strong. I could hear the winds blowing. I could hear the noise of the trees. The trees were just blowing. They started blowing violently, and just these large gusts of winds were just picking up and blowing. I could hear whistles. I could hear the whistle of the wind. And I just started to proclaim Christ. I just started to proclaim Jesus. And when I just started to proclaim Jesus, the winds became even stronger. And I can see there was a storm that was released. It was a huge storm, but it wasn't rain. It was more just wind, and it was like hurricane wind that just started to blow through the houses. I could see from afar, because the house that I was in was like on the top of a hill, and so I could see all the houses that were around throughout the city that I was in, and I just proclaim. I feel that this was a prophetic dream because in the season that we are in, brothers and sisters, we are in a time where we need to be praying and fasting for one another. There is so many things that are getting ready to occur, brothers and sisters in Christ. What I saw next, it really shook me, because these winds just took control of the houses, and everything that was inside just started to blow away. I started to see rooftops of these houses being blown away. I started seeing the shingles coming up. I started seeing just the structures just being destroyed by these great mighty winds that were blowing throughout the city. I started to see the houses moving off their foundations and just crumbling in front of my eyes. I started to see even the house that I was in shook and rattled and shaked. And even the rooftop was starting to come up. There was holes that were coming up out of the ceiling, and I could see the sky, but it was just wind that was blowing. This wind that was blowing through was just so violent that it even moved the house that I was on maybe about a little less than a foot off the foundation. And I started praying where I was at. I knelt and I started praying, brothers and sisters. I prayed because I was in fear. At first I was in amazement, but then the fear sunk in. The fear sunk in because I saw disaster coming. I saw crippled, how the city was becoming crippled and just being destroyed by these winds. And so when I started kneeling and I asked God for help, I asked Him for forgiveness for the nation. I I started interceding for all that were coming under these great winds. And brothers and sisters, when I started to pray, the Lord told me to get off my feet. He told me to raise up like a warrior and be firm and take battle stance, because now is the time to fight. Now is the time to pray. Now is the time to intercede. Now is the time. So brothers and sisters, when he started speaking to me, he told me, brothers and sisters, that there will be many houses that even Christians live in that will be completely rocked and destroyed, shooken and taken off their foundation. It will crumble over on top of them because they do not have Christ as their foundation. They live like a Christian, but they do not do the works of a Christian. They look like a Christian, but they do not live like a Christian. Brothers and sisters, when I saw these houses just falling down, crumbling in front of my eyes, and when I asked the Lord, I said, why is even this house was moved off the foundation for almost about a foot, because I saw a foot distance off the foundation. He said, there is a shift coming. He said, do not fear, for you have me as my foundation. He said, do not fear, but there is a shift coming. The shift. And you have to be ready for that shift. Every Christian, every follower of Jesus Christ has to be ready. They got to get ready for that shift, because these winds are coming. These winds are blowing. These winds are going to bring mighty destruction. He said, just this shift that is coming is going to rock this nation. And for those that are ready, will not fear, because once the Lord started speaking to me, He calmed me. He calmed my spirit, and there was a sense of peace that came into my spirit. And it was more of realizing what was occurring. He told me to keep my eyes open to see what was going on, to release these words to you guys. Now, it is not often that I prophesy or I even speak about my dreams. I stay silent. And many of y'all that know me know that I am a silent person. I only speak when I need to speak. And so you will not see many of these recordings that I release. But when I see something prophetic that's in the atmosphere that's getting ready to occur, I have to release this, brothers and sisters. You have to get ready. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. If now is not the time to be just wasting, playing video games, playing Pokego, and not paying attention. There is a time, and we are in that time. We are coming closer, brothers and sisters, to the end times. And we have to be ready. We have to be ready, because great destruction is coming. There is going to be a mighty shift. And that shift is already occurring. That the shift is already starting to occur. It is occurring in today's nations, and we see it. We see it in our government. We see it throughout the nation. This nation has taken a shift for the worst and not for the better. And for those that are not firm in the foundation of Christ, they will fall. There will be mighty destruction. There will be mighty destruction, brothers and sisters. So I just released this dream that I had to you guys tonight. Just pray and intercede for one another. Pray and intercede for one another. Pray and intercede for one another. Because something great is getting ready to happen. Something that our eyes have never ever seen before is getting ready to happen. And for those that look for His face, already know what's coming. Because He has spoken ahead of time. He is released to us ahead of time. That way we discern. That way we prepare ourselves, brothers and sisters. We have to prepare. We have to prepare for these times. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.